and you're watching the Louisiana television channel. Thank you for watching.
Hi, this is Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television. I'm Nancy Kay, and joining us today is Apostle Pamela Cassimere. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, and let's talk a little bit about yourself and about your ministry. But where are you from originally?
I'm originally born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Okay.
My mom is from Ville Platte.
Okay.
And they relocated here during Katrina evacuation. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm here.
Okay.
But I was born and raised in New Orleans, and I've lived, I'd probably say half of my adult life that I've been living in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And that's where I've prepared for ministry.
Very good. And what made you want to get into ministry?
Well, actually, I didn't want to get into ministry. Actually, my whole life, I wanted to go into medicine. If I was not going to become a physician, I wanted to be a nurse, and that's what I was pursuing. And even before I went to four-year university at Tulane University in New Orleans, I went to junior college and became a medical assistant. And so that was my pursuit. But I knew I had a call of God on my life ever since I was 17, around 16, 17, when I accepted the Lord as my Lord and Savior. But I, felt like I could, just preach whenever God would want. And then at that time, just because of the stigma with women preachers, I was not as vocal or forward. So I was pushing to become a physician. And fast forward, by the time I reached Tulsa, I had gone through a divorce. I had a 5-year-old son, single parent mom, and I was getting ready to prepare to go back to school. And I heard the Lord clearly tell me to lay down medicine for ministry. And so that was a giving up of, the medicine, because at first I thought, oh, well, I'll be a medical doctor and I'll do medical missions. But, not realizing that God was calling me into full-time ministry and that I would have to lay down medicine. Now, he's allowed me to work in the medical field since that time, but basically that's pretty it.
Now it's a different kind of medicine. It's a spiritual medicine that you provide. Right. So you're still in the medicine game.
And we do medical missions as far as healthcare. We just did an outreach at one of our bases in Belize.
That's great. Now let's talk about your ministry, because you do this all over the world. So what is your mission and of your ministry?
Okay, well, we are Daddy's Provision for His Daughters International Incorporated. And we say Daddy meaning Daddy God, Father God, Abba Father, His provision. And his base provision is His salvation, which is inclusive, not just spiritually, but naturally meeting the needs, because that's what Jesus did. He met the needs of people, of humanity, spiritually and naturally. So that's physical, that's health-wise, that's subsistence, that's education, economically. Right. So that's kind of like our focus in particular with girls and women, disadvantaged, marginalized girls and women here in America and overseas, with an emphasis to widows, orphans, and those who may have been involved in trafficking in some type of way.
Right. And also, I know you go around the world, but before we started the show, you were telling me about the disparity in education, which we think of as maybe, oh, that's another country, where girls don't get to go to school. But you said that happens here, too. There's such a disparity in education.
Recent studies show that the greatest social ill is education disparity for the girl child and women globally. That also includes the United States of America. I've given you an example of that. One of our initiatives, we have different initiatives in our global impact mission basis. This is a chapter here in Louisiana. And I explained that to you with our initiative with our jail and prison women's ministry outreach. Pre-COVID, we were going into the local jails here in the Evangeline Parish in Ville Platte. And we would do a little intake on the inmates. And what we found, because we wanted to find what was the roots to the revolving door cycle A lot of offenders are repeat offenders, so they go through this revolving door. And one thing we noticed is that half of the women had not graduated high school, did not have a GED. Within that number of half of those women, half of them only had anywhere between a 6th grade and junior high education. So when you look at that, as far as education, as far as job skills, you can see some disparities and some roots going on with there. But in the nations, it can be gender based, it can be in economic disparity, which is heavily in our beliefs based. And so we help to provide for the girl child to go to school there.
Very good. And whenever you go to these other countries, are you talking about anything specific, or you're just doing your general ministry work? Or
basically, how we're set up, we're headquartered, as I shared with you earlier, before the broadcast, we're headquartered in Raleigh, North Carolina. That's where we're headquartered at. And so we have different global impact mission bases. We have one here, of course, the chapter in Louisiana. We're in the nation of Belize, the nation of Nigeria, South Africa, also Nigeria and India. For example, in Belize, and now each country, there's different initiatives that we focus on, and I kind of have my little
go ahead.
cheat sheet. I have my little brochure just to make sure I cover everything. But our ministry approach in target groups is women's jails and prisons, orphans, widows, Women's Healthy Heart Community Outreach, which is one of the initiatives we have in Louisiana, homeless, domestic violence shelters, villages, girls rescue homes, single parent moms, detention camps, disadvantaged girls and women in urban and rural settings, like we're in this rural setting, overseas slums, refugee camps, street ministry, and then reaching marginalized girls. Now, to be able to accomplish what God has given us to accomplish through our mission, which is to share and proclaim the love of God and make known his provision. And as I said, that provision is inclusive, not just spiritually, but salvation, a lot of people don't understand. Salvation is inclusive. It's not just spiritual, it's natural, whether it has to relate to humanity as far as health, education, economically. And so we look at the total person, the whole man. And so through that, we have a number of avenues where people can partner with us and serve. Of course, through prayer and intercession, in global impact mission trips. That's when we're going around the world. And I'll talk about some of our upcoming trips. And when we were able to go on one last year, even in the midst of this global pandemic, we're hoping to be able to go on more, but also through child evangelism and the Girl Child Project, women's affairs and global justice for women, our single parent mom networks that we have. We have one here in Evangeline Parish, global collaborative education. That's where educators here in America can partner with us and go to the nations and work with educators and administrators in the other countries. Except we also have professional women's mentorship programs, worship arts, evangelistic outreaches such as our women's in jail, prison ministry outreaches, field work, and just a number of things. So when we go, basically, we go to evangelize, but we're also looking at that group of people that we're called to, we call them target groups of people that we're going to, we look at them holistically. So we do a lot of mapping out because we work within, as I shared with you earlier, in the framework of Maslow's theory of working at the bottom, of looking at the bottom of their pyramid, going up to meet those needs. Because as I shared with you earlier, you can want a girl child to succeed. You can help a woman to, you can want a woman to succeed. Education is a big part in helping her to succeed. But if those basic needs of security, food, shelter, if those basic needs are not met, everything else is just kind of like almost done in vain. It's kind of like trying to stick a Band-Aid on something and keep going on, but you're going to keep having the same problems.
You have to fix the root causes first. So in just a few minutes, we're going to, or a minute or so, we'll take a little break. But whenever we come back, I want to get into some of your ministry in these other countries and seeing if you get a pushback with some of the cultures and how they accept Christianity and so forth. But we'll be right back after this. So this is Apostle Pamela Cassimere, and just loving this conversation because this is stuff I'm all passionate about. So I love
where
it.
my heart is also. Yeah.
All right, we'll take a break. You're watching Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television.
Hi, my name is Ian Fontenot, and I'm with Cajun Broadband, and I get internet way out here. Oh, I got a tweet. So what's good about Cajun Broadband, you got a local company, you got local customer support, you got small businesses, couldn't even have a peace of mind knowing that their security cameras work in the evening, you know, because the service just wasn't up to par. And we come in and we're an option, and we're a local option.
At 1319 South Chautauqua Road is Paul's Specialty Meat Market and Grocery, where fresh meat and good service equal a great experience. Specializing in smoked meats, specialty meats such as stuffed roast, holiday turduckens, boudin, crackling, fryers stuffed with crawfish and cornbread, and large freezer specials, providing fresh smoked meats to the community for 27 years. That's Paul's Specialty Meats and Grocery, 1319 South Chautauqua Road, Ville Platte, Louisiana, where fresh meat and good service equal a great experience.
Welcome back to Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television. We've been having a wonderful discussion with Apostle Pamela Cassimere, who's been telling us all about her ministry around the world and what good you do, especially for women and girls, which they, especially around the world, but here in the United States as well, we see this disparity and how they fall through the cracks. Now, I want to get into, first of all, where's the farthest you've traveled?
Actually, I've been through to Europe. That's the farthest that I've traveled.
Very good. And
so think about that way back in 2004.
So whenever you guys as a whole go to these other countries, does the culture accept Christianity? Do you ever get a pushback?
We have not received any pushback. Probably you would see, I would say in Nigeria, but more northern part, but we have not had an opportunity to go there yet, which that part of Nigeria. And actually, one of our servanthood volunteers, unfortunately, during the midst of this pandemic, she did pass away, but she lived in that area and Joyce, J-O-S, Nigeria, and Christians in that area tend to be persecuted quite a bit in that area. But we've not really received any pushback as far as from Christianity. Now, there are certain areas in India, not directly in the area particular where we are working at, where our church is located there, and our Bible school and our ministries there, which is in Andhra Pradesh, India, and also in Hyderabad, India. But when you start moving out to the rural Indias, yes, you do have to be concerned with that, but not so much that we've experienced that.
Right. That's good to hear. Now, let's bring it back over here. You said y'all are based in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Right, that's where the headquarters are.
Right, the headquarters. And down here in Evangeline Parish, what do you mostly do in Evangeline Parish?
Yeah. We have initiatives in each of our global impact mission bases. That's how they're referred to. So here are our ministry chapters. So here in Louisiana, we focus on 4 areas. With the women's jails and prison outreach, as I said, we were going to the local jail for some time pre-COVID. We're hoping to be able to do that again, going back in. Also, we have an initiative for single parent moms, which is a group that cannot be forgotten because with the single parent mom, there's a whole realm of issues and challenges that they face, and also that their children face because they're being reared in the single parent home. And in particular, it's without the fathers. A lot of times, a lot of them don't know who their fathers are. So you're dealing with a whole lot of issues, not just financially, but a number of issues. So we have what we call single parent mom networks, where we have moms come in. At one point in time, we had a partnership with South Louisiana Community College. here in Evangeline, and we would interview those moms there. They would come in and do a detailed intake, so we knew where they were spiritually, we knew where they were emotionally, financially, education-wise, just subsistence, what their needs were, what their goals were. So we tend to work with those women and have different sessions for them. We had different outreaches, Christmas outreaches, assistance financially as funds come in, as we have funds available to be able to help, even especially when COVID hit. We do assistance with school, going back to school, supplies and different things. And even those single parent moms that want to go back to school, our goal is to be able to be a support system for her. So we have a number of things in place with our single parent mom network. And so we have one here in Louisiana, and we also have one in Belize. In Belize, we just helped a single parent mom child to go to school, because what a lot of people don't know is we're really blessed in America. And in America, in our public school system, which is taxpayers funded, basically, we won't say free schools because taxpayers' monies are still going into that to be able to facilitate public education for students. But that burden of the parents of having to find tuition or, lunch money is not up on the parents. In a lot of other nations, in particular in Belize and a lot of nations that we're involved with, that's not the case. Their government public schools, those parents still have to pay full price tuition, plus books, plus uniforms, plus fees. And so the reality is, at a certain point in time, when the child reaches high school, maybe what we would see as freshman, 10th grade, in Belize is considered form. So by the time they reach first, second form, they're dropping out of school. Not because they want to, but because the
financial
finances,
burden.
right, it's just not there. Or either the family has to decide, okay, which child is going to go to school this year, because we can't afford it for all 4 kids to go to school, which is heartbreaking. So we just had the pleasure of watching God work through the ministry. Well, we had our first graduating student. We were able to assist that single parent mom. So we do things like that, of trying to help parents, but even also helping the single parent mom to go back to school. Also here, what we have in place is our Women's Healthy Heart Initiative, which we partner with Community Action, or should I say they partner with us to help us push that initiative. And our whole goal is to promote healthy heart.
I think that's important
Yes.
because I think heart disease has surpassed breast cancer for the killer of women.
Heart disease kills more women than all cancers combined in the United States. Every 3 to 4 seconds, a woman in the United States is having some type of cardiovascular episode. It's that serious. And normally, a lot of women are walking around with hypertension and don't know it. That's why it's known to be as the silent killer. And so what we tend to do is to educate. When we partner with Community Action, they also Sawa Hospital came in, and we do health fairs. Like I said, COVID has put a dampen on a number of things that we've been able to do within the community, with bringing the people together. But they'd come to the community health fairs to have the screenings done, to make sure they're in their body mass index, and if they're not, of ways of how they can get there. We also had the experts to come in. We had nurse practitioners that's within the community to come in and educate. And then we also minister to them from a spiritual standpoint on healing, on divine healing. So it's like 3 phases. We give away gift prizes, which is all conducive to health.
Right.
Whether it's healthy eating, exercising, just to encourage them. So that's one thing. But we were also raising finances, and for a season of time, our local Walmart, want to shout out to Connie Allen, the GM here, that they partnered with us, where every month we receive so much in a gift card to be able to help purchase groceries, healthy groceries, particular vegetables for women with heart disease who were in the senior citizen rank that would sign up with us, who maybe they didn't have enough money throughout the month for groceries, or to help them learn to buy, healthier foods, and also assist with prescriptions, co-payments that maybe their insurance weren't picking out.
I'm glad you mentioned the food, because that's very important, because it's just a shame how in this country the healthier stuff is more expensive than, say, your little pack of ramen that's 25 cents, which is full of sodium, no offense to ramen, but it's it's not the healthiest choice. But it seems like everything else, and you see sodas that are on sale, but all the healthy stuff is more expensive. So glad you guys do that.
So yeah, that's one. And of course, we're still steady looking for more partners to be able to partner with us. The more, that comes in, the more that we're able to do. So that's 3 of the initiatives. But we also have our fort, which is, I'm passionate about all of them, but of course, I'm passionate about students. I used to work in the school system, in public and private education. I even served as a certified substitute teacher here in Evangeline Parish School District. So children are at heart for me. But what we have is our Girl Child Global Ambassador Ministry. Here's where we train girls ages 5 through 12. The parents have to make a commitment because it does involve a detailed commitment. We train them how to rise up and become activists and advocates, in particular for girls who don't have a voice in other nations. But it's more than that. It's holistic. So spiritually, if you can think of a mix of Vacation Bible School, we help them to grow in their spiritual walk. We also help them in their academic studies because they have to be developed in their mathematics skills.
Yes.
So they learn about currency, they learn about foreign currency, how to do the exchange. They learn about international time zones, how to convert over time zones. They learn about geography in depth, but first they have to be skilled here in America in that, and then we teach them for the country that they're trying to represent.
I love all of these initiatives you guys take, and I think it's a very important ministry that you have, an organization, and I could just talk to you for hours about this because you guys have so much going on, and I'm so impressed with what you do. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but please come back because I think it's very important what you're doing, and it's a huge benefit to Evangeline Parish community, but obviously everyone all over the world. So Pamela, thank you so much. How do we get in touch with you if we need to get, and mention your ministry again, the
My
name
ministry name again is Daddy's Provision for His Daughters International Incorporated, based off the love of God and His provision for mankind. But they can reach me directly at Apostle, APOSTLE, and then my name, Pamela, Pamela, Cassimere, CASSIMERE @gmail.com. Or they can email daddyprovision, INTL, @gmail.com, or our telephone number, area code 337-410-1142.
Pamela, thank you so much, and thank you to your organization as well. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back right after this on Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television.
Thank you.
Be strong and courageous. That's the message Jesus has for you if you're injured or ill. Keep your eyes on Christ and let us at Fondant Physical Therapy and Fondant Physical Therapy West help you run the race. Fear is useless. Just trust in Jesus and let us help you have hope in your future. Have a happy new year and God bless you.
Before John DeVille and his staff can unlock the doors, there's a gathering outside of the Cajun Catfish Steakhouse and Buffet, 1452 Highway 167 North, Ville Platte, Louisiana. His staff would like to invite you in for a dining experience you won't forget. From fruits and salads made fresh every day to a spacious environment to stretch your legs out and loosen your belt loop. Enjoy Central Louisiana's best in seafood and steak. The Cajun Catfish Steakhouse and Buffet, 1452 Highway 167 North, Ville Platte, Louisiana.
Welcome back to Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television. I'm Nancy Kay, and right now we are joined by Miranda Schimmel of Butter Cookie Company. How are you doing?
I'm great. It's nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I'm excited you're here because you brought us cookies.
Of course, I had to bring some cookies.
I know, they're so cute, and I'm going to get Rob to do a close-up of them in just a minute. But tell us a little bit about your background. So where are you from, and how'd you get started with cookies?
I'm from a little town called Forest Hill in Rapides Parish. All my family lives there, and we were kind of looking for a house, and we settled here in Ville Platte, and we're enjoying it so far. But I started making cookies when all of my kids went back to school. You know, it's kind of just puttering around the house, kind of bored. So,
how many kids do you have?
I have 3.
Okay.
I have 3 kids. I have 2 boys and then a little girl.
Okay.
And I took a cookie class from another baker and decided, I really enjoyed it. It was
Yeah.
just something I really enjoyed. So,
And you're obviously very talented with it, because I've tried these before and I do not have the artistic ability to do these. And Rob, were you able to get a close up of the cookies? Because these are so cute. I love the little whale, and there's the dragon. I think the dragon's my favorite, and the whale. And there's even a bowl of cereal. I'm just so impressed. Do you come up with all the designs yourself?
not always. Some designs I make myself, but then some of them cookie cutter companies have already, designed, and you order cookie cutters and just make whatever they've picked out.
Right. So have you always loved making cookies?
I've always loved baking. It wasn't always cookies to begin with. It was simpler stuff like cupcakes or breads and stuff like that.
Right.
And then eventually I did get into cookies. So.
Well, good. So, so you really fell in love with this after taking a class when your kids went back to school. So how long did it take you to decide, hey, I want to start my own business?
It was probably, a year and a half.
Okay.
I was just kind of baking for, friends and family like you do, and everybody's like, "Oh, you should start your own business." And at first you're kind of like, "Well, do you really want to sell to everybody? Is everybody going to love it?" But, as more and more people were like, "You really should try it out." I kind of branched out to, friends of friends, and so it just kind of took off on its own.
Were your family like your guinea pigs for the cookies?
Of course.
I'm sure that made them very happy.
Oh yeah.
And your kids especially.
My kids, a lot of times they're kind of sad now because they'll come in the kitchen and I'll be making like for an order and they're like, "Did you make any for us?" And I'm like, not this time, but I totally will.
Now, what kinds of flavors do you have?
Right now it's just I make sugar cookies.
Okay.
For holidays, I do branch out and make like different flavors. Sometimes for Valentine's, I'll do like red velvet, or
Nice.
I'll do snickerdoodle for like Christmas, or it just depends. I've done pumpkin spice for the fall, but it's not something, I don't offer different flavors all the time.
Right. Well, what is your favorite kind of cookie overall?
Overall, snickerdoodle is definitely my favorite.
Okay, those sound really good.
Just a cinnamon sugar kind of girl.
And how do you usually market your cookies?
I have a website and I have a Facebook page. So, and you can normally find me at the farmers market here in Ville Platte, at the 100-fold coffee.
Right. I know there's one coming up on the 29th, an open air market, I believe, on the 29th.
I think it's the,
Or it's,
the 29th,
I don't know. It's
the
at the
22nd.
it's somewhere, somewhere toward the end of January. But I mean,
Right.
go to 100-fold. Y'all can find out. And so you'll be there for that one.
Yes.
Nice. So people can go get your cookies that day.
Definitely.
Yeah. So you use like Facebook. Do you use Instagram as well? Like taking the pictures of them and.
I do have an Instagram.
Nice.
And I love to take the pictures of the cookies, of course, because
Oh,
everybody's
yeah.
like, "Oh, they're so cute."
Yeah, they're very photogenic. That's what as soon as you brought them in, I just kind of lit up and I was like, they're so cute. I love them. It's like you don't even want to eat them because they're too cute.
Yeah, some people tell me that. They're like, "We didn't even really want to eat them because they were so cute."
I know.
But they tasted so good when we did eat them.
Right. So now you bake out of your home?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I operate under a cottage business license.
I was going to ask what kinds of licenses do you have to get for that? So it's a cottage license, right?
Well, it's not really, it is considered a cottage license, but there's not actually like a license through the state. I do have like a general business license.
Okay.
And I just operate from my home right now. And it's nice. I would love to have a storefront eventually, but that's kind of future cards.
Yeah. Most people, though, most small businesses, that's what they do. They just start at home.
Right.
Yeah. Do you do internet orders as well? Because I know people can reach out to you on Facebook, but do you have a website where people can go and order?
I do have a website. It's buttercookieco.com. And I do pre-orders for holidays, and I have like a form you can fill out if you have a custom order. You can go ahead and fill out the form, and it'll send me an email, and I'll get back in touch with you that lets you know, what I can do for you if I'm available.
And how far in advance should people order?
Normally I say 2 weeks because that gives me time to order cookie cutters if your order is super detailed or something that I don't have.
Yeah.
Which most of the time I'm able to accommodate from what I have. So I can do rush orders sometimes. It just depends on the schedule and how things are.
Right. And sometimes do you get unusual requests?
Yeah, I do. I get all kinds of requests. I've done all kinds of themes. I think my favorite recently was I did a throwback 60s roller skates
Cute.
and tie dye, and it was
very
so
cute. Yeah. Are those posted on your Facebook page?
Yes.
I need to go find those and see them. I was looking at your page last night and I had to stop because I was wanting to eat a lot of cookies at that point, and I can't keep doing that. But I'm going to go check them out because I just love your designs, and you're very artistic. So obviously you're very talented at doing this. Did you always love to maybe paint, or were you very crafty growing up?
I always have been very crafty. My family says that, I've always been kind of crafty, but
Yeah.
don't really. I guess I wouldn't say don't have any other skills.
No, but
I just more am, crafty than anything else. I've always had something that I had my fingers, in doing, whether it was.
yeah. What else did you do?
I've done vinyl and made T-shirts and
Very cool.
just stuff at home for myself and my
Yeah.
kids. So
That's very neat. See, I can't do any of that stuff. I've tried, and it always looks nothing like it's supposed to look like. So I realize I'm just going to have to buy other people's products, so I can't, But has anyone else in your family loved baking in general?
yeah, my grandmother on my dad's side was, she was always in the kitchen, whether it was cooking or baking, and I kind of got that, I guess, love from her. I love to be in the kitchen, whether it's baking or cooking or anything. That's my happy spot.
Right. Oh yeah, I have a lot of memories with my grandmother as well. So what's maybe the biggest challenge you face with your business?
The biggest challenge, I guess, would be, the business side of it, the paperwork and keeping track of everything.
It's tedious.
Right, it is. And when you're more creative than anything else, you just want to be in the creativity and the baking, and then you're like, I have to sit down and do this paperwork, and I really don't want to.
Right. Yeah.
But you have to keep track of everything.
Right. Does anyone help you?
No, I do it all on my own. So I do. My husband is a computer guy, so he does kind of keep track of the website and fix things. I'm like, I broke it.
That helps. That is a big help because I wouldn't know what I was doing with that either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think has been the biggest highlight so far? What's your favorite part about your job?
I do love the baking and the decorating, but I think my favorite part is when people reach back out to me and they're like, my kids loved the cookies you made for their birthday, or the ones you made for my baby shower were just perfect, And that's my favorite part, just the feedback, I think, from the customers that are so happy.
Yeah, and I could tell they would be happy because even all the pictures I saw, everything looked great. Whenever we come back from break, I want to get into a little bit more about the types of themes that you do and maybe the most popular ones. So we'll be right back with Miranda Schimmel from Butter Cookie Company. You're watching Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television.
Hi, my name is Ian Fontenot, and I'm with Cajun Broadband, and I get internet way out here. Oh, I got a tweet. So what's good about Cajun Broadband, you got a local company, you got local customer support, you got small businesses, couldn't even have a peace of mind knowing that their security cameras work in the evening, because the service just wasn't up to par. And we come in and we're an option, and we're a local option.
At 1319 South Chautauqua Road is Paul's Specialty Meat Market and Grocery, where fresh meat and good service equal a great experience. Specializing in smoked meats, specialty meats such as stuffed roast, holiday turduckens, boudin, cracklin, fryers stuffed with crawfish and cornbread, and large freezer specials, providing fresh smoked meats to the community for 27 years. That's Paul's Specialty Meats and Grocery, 1319 South Chautauqua Road, Ville Platte, Louisiana, where fresh meat and good service equal a great experience.
Welcome back to Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television. We've been talking with Miranda Schimmel from Butter Cookie Company, and for a little bit we were talking about the types of events that you get requests for. What sort of events? Because I know you have holidays and baby showers and weddings. What other events would people order them for?
I do a lot of children's birthday parties, of course, and then, just like you said, baby showers, weddings. I've done baptisms, lots of holidays, Easter, Valentine's Day is coming up.
What's the most popular?
Definitely that section for Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Okay.
That's my busiest time of year.
Yeah. Which ones do you like most? Which holiday do you enjoy most making the cookies for?
Oh, let's see.
Or the fun designs that you like the most during the holidays?
I think Halloween has got to be my favorite.
That would be my favorite too.
Yeah.
So what kinds of designs do you make for Halloween, like any bats or ghosts and things like that?
Definitely all that. Bats, ghosts, haunted houses.
See, I need that for my birthday. I was born 8 days before Halloween, so every year we had a Halloween party for my birthday. So yeah, I'm going to have to order some from you. That's sad. I shouldn't be ordering for my own party, but treat yourself.
Right.
Treat
That's
yourself.
what I always say. You don't have to order for somebody else. You can always
Order
just
for
order
yourself.
for yourself.
Yeah, treat yourself. Absolutely. So, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start their own business?
I mean, definitely do your research first. A lot of people, you know, will start something as a hobby, and then once you get into it, you get a little overwhelmed.
Yes.
And, you know, you got to figure out whether it's something you're going to enjoy doing for other people or if it's something you just want to do for yourself.
Right. And obviously you have to plan to be in the long haul and just be dedicated to it, because like you said, is it going to be a hobby, or are you really going to put a lot of effort into this? Because how did you handle that at first when you started getting a lot of orders, since you're doing it by yourself? So how often do you feel overwhelmed with orders?
I mean, sometimes I do feel overwhelmed if I'll get a lot of orders all at the same time. And just have to kind of learn to manage your time. Sometimes I do have to turn down orders because I'll get overbooked. I just have to kind of regulate my schedule. And it's kind of nice with cookies. It's not like a cake, so I could start a little bit earlier in the week. But all of my cookies are baked, you know, fresh the week that you're going to get them. So, I mean, it's just, you got to regulate that time, though.
Right. And they're all from scratch, right?
Yes, everything
from scratch. There's nothing like that, because you can find cookies like this in the store, but if you've ever eaten them, they're very stale and, you know, kind of, but fresh, I've had fresh before, and there's nothing like it, so that's really good. Is there anything else people should know about Butter Cookie Company?
We're open all the time. I mean, we're here to take your custom orders for your events, and that's what I enjoy doing, you know. I love the holidays, but I really love, you know, the custom orders where I get to design just for your event.
Right. And go ahead.
Oh, I mean, the themes, whatever theme you can think of, you know, it's it's really fun when the customers say, you know, this is my theme, and, you know, do what you will with it. You know, they kind of give me free reign, so I get to, you know, get my creative juices flowing and just kind of design.
Now, if somebody shows you a design and say, I want this, do you copy another person's design, or you kind of come close to it?
I can come close to it. I don't identically copy people's designs. I mean, I want to put my own flair on it. I've got my own style. And, you know, we can get close to it, but, you know, I generally just like to say this is my theme, and then go from there.
And do you ship?
I don't ship. I do have 2 pickup spots, one in Forest Hill in my hometown and one right here in Ville Platte. And I'll meet people, you know, with orders if they're a little bit farther away, say Lafayette or something like that. But I don't ship. Cookies are kind of delicate. So, and it's not that the post office is rough with the packages, but
they are. My dad used to work for the post office, so I can say that.
Sometimes they are. I mean, but cookies just really don't hold up well in the mail.
No.
So I don't really like to ship, and sometimes they get caught up, in the mail packages, and you just want it to be there when it's supposed to be there.
You want it to be as fresh as possible too.
Right.
Yeah. So, so you said eventually you'd like to have a little cookie shop, right?
I would love to branch out and have a full-time bakery, cakes, breads.
Okay, I was
all
going to
kinds of
ask, what
stuff.
else would you, want to make? So after cookies, what's the next thing you would want to make?
After cookies, I think I would probably move to cupcakes.
Nice.
I'd love to do cupcakes and then cakes, full-size cakes eventually, but
Yeah.
it's kind of a different, like, these are sugar cookies with royal icing. But when you get into cupcakes and cakes, we're talking, mostly buttercream and fondant, which is a whole different medium. It
Right.
goes on differently, and it's a different skill set.
Yeah, especially fondant, because I've tried with fondant before, and it's you have to have some kind of artistic ability to do
Right.
fondant, because it makes everything look good. And see, I'd rather flavor than anything, so I'd probably go for buttercream, icing. But I think
Right.
they've made some progress with fondant in the taste in the last few years.
Yeah, like
This one-
they can do a marshmallow fondant is what I prefer.
yeah.
It doesn't taste like, store-bought fondant
Yeah.
does. It just kind of tastes like marshmallows, and that's what I prefer. But
Have you ever worked with fondant before?
I've done for like my own kids or my
Yeah.
family.
So do your kids like request their own themes sometimes, or like, hey, make me this kind of cookie with this image on it? And
Oh, definitely. My kids are a little older now, but when we would have snack days, like in kindergarten and first grade, they'd be like, okay, for my snack day, I want this.
do they ever say something like just funny that made you laugh, like, oh, I want an alien or a spaceship or something like that?
Yeah, my oldest son, when we did a snack day, he had to have dinosaurs with the bones, but all the bones had to be right, because he was just in that phase, that dinosaur phase,
Yeah.
where he was like, and I made some, and he was like, Mom, these don't really have enough bones to be real dinosaurs.
So it was like a skeleton, in other words, it was a dinosaur
Right.
skeleton. So how
Right.
did you even attempt to make that? Like you had to get obviously a dinosaur, cutout.
Right.
Right. But then you had to draw or paint each individual bone.
Yeah, like just ice on like the little bones and stuff. So
Yeah. And of course it wouldn't be the right amount of bones. I mean, you're talking about a cookie versus a dinosaur.
right. But how
That's
kids
cute.
can be.
Yeah. I think that's adorable. I would probably be the same way if my mom was baking cookies. Every day I'd be like, make me an alien or something like that. So tell us again where we can get a hold of you, because you have your Facebook, you have your Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
It's at Butter Cookie Co. So
CO?
yeah,
Butter
see ya.
Cookie CO.
Yeah.
Okay. And on Facebook, it's the same thing, Butter Cookie CO?
It's the Butter Cookie Co. I think on
Oh,
Facebook.
the Butter Cookie Company. Okay. And do you get more orders from like say, Facebook or website or what?
I do get most of my orders from Facebook. People will find me on Facebook and look
Mm-hmm.
and message me, which is kind of the best way to do
Mm-hmm.
it. Either Facebook or my website. You can send me a message, and
Yeah.
I'll let you know what I can do if I am available for your date or.
Yeah. How long did it take to sort of pick up steam once you started on Facebook or Insta? Were people sharing it as soon as like you posted it? Were you steadily building lots of shares?
I've just kind of been building, and it's taken a little bit to get going here in Ville Platte too.
Okay.
I mean, you kind of move and you have to start all over again. And I do
Right.
still have customers that order from me in Forest Hill in Rapides Parish, where I'm from.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you get more from Forest Hill area or from Ville Platte area?
No,
But-
definitely from Ville Platte.
Okay.
And even I have a lot of customers also in like Mamu and Eunice and Opelousas too.
Very cool. Have you ever approached any businesses or like festivals or celebrations for like a theme for them? Like let's say Cotton Festival wants a plate of cookies for the visiting queens or something like that.
I haven't done the Cotton Festival. I have done the Corn Festival in
Oh yeah, Bunky.
Bunky, yes.
Yeah.
The coordinator reached out to me, and I did cookies for their queens, and
That's
had their
cute.
names on them. And
The
all
little
kinds
ears of
stuff.
corn.
Yeah, little ears of corn
That's
and like
precious.
a train and.
Yeah, they do have the train in Bunky. I have
Right.
family in Bunky, so that's why I know a little bit about it. And yeah, the Corn Festival is really cute. So I like that idea of having their names on it.
Yeah.
That's something you should market to Cotton Festival and any other festivals around the area, because that's that would be a pretty big, order for you.
Right.
Of course, it might overwhelm you if it's too big of an order. Do you eventually, if you're getting a lot, want to hire somebody to help you out?
That would kind of be when I have a storefront kind of thing.
Of course, yeah.
But I would love to have, a staff that kind of handles the front end, so I can focus on the baking and decorating.
Right,
This
right.
is my favorite part.
Right. Do you? How do you handle like the financial part of it? Like, do you find it important to have a CPA, or do you have an attorney, or what? Or you just kind of navigate it yourself?
I kind of navigate it myself. I do keep everything separate. Everything. I have a bank account, and I keep all my paperwork, and I do try to keep my groceries, that I buy for my cookie company.
To itemize it, yeah.
Right. Sometimes it's hard because you go to the grocery store and you're like, oh, I need flour, and you just put it in your buggy and buy it with your groceries.
No, you have to separate those two and get two different receipts.
Right. And then I get home and I'm like, oh, I should have bought that with the business bank account.
So you have to be very, very organized.
Right.
Well, Miranda, thank you so much for joining us. Once again, what's your number if people want to place an order?
Like I said, you can find me on Facebook
Right.
or my website.
Or it's best just to send you a message then?
Right.
Got it.
I don't really do a lot of phone calls right now.
Yeah.
I need to get a business number, but I haven't quite got that set up yet.
No, that's fine, because, hey, you're just starting, and you're starting in your home, which is where most people start.
Right.
So I think you're going to be pretty popular. I mean, just from what I'm seeing here today and what I've seen on your Facebook page. So I think I'm going to see a lot of success from you in the future.
I hope so. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here, Miranda. And thank you for the cookies. This is the first time someone has brought us food, and we're so happy because we've had people who have talked about their products and their food. We always ask, you didn't bring us any? She's the first one. We're so happy. Thank you, Miranda. You're watching Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television.
Be strong and courageous. That's the message Jesus has for you if you're injured or ill. Keep your eyes on Christ and let us at Fondant Physical Therapy and Fondant Physical Therapy West help you run the race. Fear is useless. Just trust in Jesus and let us help you have hope in your future. Have a happy new year, and God bless you.